Hey there, welcome to Millennium Milestone Presents, a site dedicated to storytelling in books, movies, video games, and other exciting genres, and occasionally a cinema that is more than spectacle. It's symbolism, struggle, and sometimes sweet, sweet justice. Every now and then, a film comes out of nowhere, not backed by mega studios, not pumped with franchise steroids, and punches Hollywood right in the one place it deserves, the ideological gut. Enter Working Man, starring Jason Statham, the forever 45-year-old man, and my candidate to be the $1 Million Man. The movie, directed by David Ayer, who recently worked with Statham in Beekeeper, and based on a series of books written by famed Batman Rippaverse comic book writer Chuck Dixon, Working Man is a blue-collar tale about pride, perseverance, purpose, in a world that's forgotten the dignity of labor. Levin Kay left behind a decorated military career in a black ops life to live a simple life to be a good dad to his daughter, who is in custody of her unforgiving grandfather and working in construction to provide for her. The movie opens with a montage of life he lives in construction and the sort of respect he earns by leading by example. However, the story switches gears when human traffickers kidnap his boss's daughter and is asked as a favor to him to search and bring her home, and in the while uncovering a world of corruption far greater than he could ever imagine. While this movie is about as generic as an action flick as any, it's not to be misunderstood as just that. It speaks to audiences in a simple way about what an average male wants to be. A man that provides for his household and carries the burden of doing so with pride. Standing up to things that are corrupt and vile, and occasionally getting to blow things up. Alright, going back. Nowadays, the male figure in the household is treated as if he does not fit the role anymore, and is considered the toxin known as the patriarchy. No, not that kind. This kind of man. The working class man that deserves to be acknowledged for the crap that they put up with to get what they want. I have to say that this movie did keep me entertained and kind of brought me back to the days when we had films like Commando, Death Wish, Rambo, or Die Hard. Action movies with tough men taking on tough problems. It's not a cinematic work of art in the traditional sense, but this movie isn't an average film. It tackles tough themes about being a single father, standing up to odds stacked against you. Mind you, Kate is trying to track down dangerous people with a hostage and trying not to be outright obvious to alert anyone that could report him back to child services. Not a conversation you want to have at a hearing. He's supposed to be retired from active duty, so he has to do everything on the quiet. It's not an easy solution, but the one thing that he keeps in mind throughout the whole thing is this his daughter? What would he do? The answer was obvious. This isn't just a story, it's a mirror. And guess what? Audiences, particularly males, are looking into it and once again are recognizing themselves. There's something to be said about movies that offer mindless action and a balance of real simple storytelling like this. It's stories like these that will bring audiences to want to see more of your work later on. Don't believe me? Ask Don Simpson or Jerry Bruckheimer. Well, at least with Don Simpson, who isn't alive today, and like him or hate him for some of the behaviors he exhibited off set, the man had a string of hits that brought people to theaters and wanted to see his movies. While that formula is not there anymore, there is something to be said about a working man and its own success. The Working Man pulled off what no one saw coming. It beat out the juggernaut, or at least quote-unquote juggernaut, Disney Snow White reboot at the box office. In its opening weekend, the Jason Statham action film earned $15.2 million, surpassing Disney's Snow White, which grossed $14.2 million in a surprise box office upset. Yep, a modern, modest, character-driven action flick outperformed a mega-budget reimagined fairy tale laced with modern politics and synthetic empowerment.
You can't make this shit up!
Let's talk about that shift. The reality is that people are tired of being preached by films that forgot how to entertain, to take us out of the grind of life and let us indulge in a fantasy of sorts, if you will. The days of repackaging classic tales with a new ideological overlay that says, you don't like this, you're the problem. While Working Man isn't entirely a new concept in storytelling, it does tell us what audiences want in their movies. Simple. Keep it simple. Sometimes the most basic of hero stories are you need to do in terms of blockbuster. While I don't think Working Man is going to be this glowing cinematic brilliance, there is something to be said about these genre films. You're less likely to annoy moviegoers who already are spending money at the theaters to see decent movies. There's no denying that Working Man sent a message to big studios about where their focus has been. In the wrong place. Men are customers too. Treat them like they mean nothing to your numbers and you will get the results you have with Snow White Or, for a better example, Captain America Brave New World, a movie that no one is talking about anymore after being released in February. Snow White, as a brand, was supposed to be timeless, but this version, it turned into a child lecturer dressed up in pixels. Modern audiences aren't rejecting stories about strong women, they're rejecting force-fed Marxist undertones wrapped in smug messaging. It's not rebellion, it's regression, mass progress. Working Man struck a nerve because it did something radical. It respected the viewer, not agenda, not lectures, just the truth. It told a mindless, action-packed story about the forgotten middle, about quiet battles, about finding purpose when the world moves on without you. People saw that and said, that's me. That's my dad. That's my neighbor. It resonated. Not because it shouted the loudest, but because it listened the hardest. So here's the deal. Working Man isn't flashy, it's real. It's the kind of film that doesn't get watched, it gets felt. And in a world bloated with billion-dollar distractions, maybe that's the boldest move of all. Well, as I mentioned, Millennium Milestone is a site dedicated to storytelling in books, movies, video games, and other exciting genres. I'm on a journey to reach 1,000 subscribers, so if you can, slap that like button and subscribe button, and drop a comment if you're ready to trade fantasy for something authentically human.